This is the Outliers Edge podcast, where we champion the leaders who are shaping the next era of humanity by taking them to the edge of their comfort zone so that they can lead us to the edge of what's next. I'm your host, Niiamah Ashong. Let's do this. Hello, Niiamah Ashong here, a founder of Outliers Edge, where we champion the leaders who are shaping the next era of humanity. I'm feeling in this moment just like this buoyant energy. I'm in a conversation here with Jasmin Badd, and we were talking just before we got started here, and what I realized is that there's this natural flow that is both here in the connection that we have, but also I would say, like, Jasmin, I'm looking at you right now, like, I feel like there's something that radiates through you. What I get about you right now, just from our first initial parts here, is like you are someone who can go with the flow, but at the same time, I almost see you like the riverbank. It's like, look, there's stuff that's flowing through, but if I decide that we're gonna go right, like everything's flowing right. And if I decide we're gonna go left, so be it, you know. And if I'm like, I'm tired, waterfall, that too is also in the place. Like, we're just getting to know each other here. Maybe there's parts of that land up that's true or not, but I'm going to hold some of that as true for me. When I say that here, firstly, let me just thank you and welcome to being in conversation. Welcome to this space.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jasmin, let's get to know each other here. We'll be exploring and getting to know each other as much as everything else here. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and let's right now focus on the external parts. Tell me a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Okay, I am the coach's marketing coach. I help coaches build out their coaching programs and market them through creative marketing. And I started that with myself. I used to be a hairstylist. I've never had a 9-to-5. I started out as a hairstylist, opening my first salon at 21 years old. I retired from behind the chair in 2020 to further my career in marketing. And I also became an author. So I wrote a book and I also created a planner. My book is called 30 Years of Love in 30 Days. And my planner is called the Creative Campaign Planner. So just to sum up a little about myself, and also have Badd Academy, which is I help entrepreneurs build, market, and brand their businesses within the academy.
Something that struck me: 30 years and 30 days.
In 30 days.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. There's just I'll explain why some like just that title and that like kind of mentality is interesting for me. But tell me a little bit about that book for you.
Okay, so that book was actually about someone I dated, and we dated for 30 days before he was actually murdered. But within that 30 days, I felt like we were together for years. So that's how I came up with the title 30 Years of Love in 30 Days.
Yeah. Well, first, I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, absolutely. There's like, as you say, it's like feels like there's already like this deep wisdom in that there. Like, okay, yeah, I'm interested. I'm like, all right, I want to go and check this out. I want to go read in on this. Part of what struck me with that title there is right now I'm doing a lot of things around helping people create their next 90 days. And I've been really particular about like the aspect of creation where it's like time is a little wibbly wobbly, as I've heard some people say, like there are so many things that there's so many ways, so many dimensions to time. And so like the concept of like being able, like, of the 30 years and the 30 day standpoint, like that really struck me. The concept of like creating and being able to bring it to like play with time so that, you know, it comes to life so much faster also strikes me. When did you start writing your book?
I actually wrote my book during the pandemic.
Yep.
So I wrote it during the pandemic and I released it during the pandemic.
Yep. There's something about that where I was like, I feel like this all took place like it just came out.
I had no plans on being an author.
Yeah.
I had no plans. That was not. That was one of those moments when they say, "You tell God your plans, He laugh at you." It totally came left field. I was just grieving. typically over the years when it came around the time that I met him, I would avoid it. I would just work through it. But during the pandemic, when we were in the house, I had no choice but to sit through it. And I just started sharing my story on social media. We went on dates every day. So I was posting as the dates were coming, I was posting the dates with the same dates. It was just a different year. Yeah. And people were like going crazy. They were like, oh my God, I can envision this. I can see this. Like, you should write a book. So I'm like, okay, am I really going to write a book? But I actually ended up writing a book.
So we're going to just slow down just a bit, Jasmin, because like I said, we're going to hear about the external things, but like I also told you before we start, like I'm here for the intern. I'm here for you, right? Right. So you're the kind of person that or at least at that time, like you're the kind of person who grieves and allows the grieving process to take place. You found a way to share in a different way during the pandemic there. Other people came up and they said, like, you should write a book. And you're the kind of person that says, okay, I guess I'm writing a book now. Is that take me to like those moments here between the, like, I posted it, people, like, it seems like there's traction. It feels like it's helping people to like, oh, I'm actually sitting down and like actually creating a book now.
Yeah, okay, so it, like I said, it just started out as post me grieving. I'm boohoo crying writing these posts, and these people are like, oh my God, you should write a book. Like, this seems like a really good story. Like, I want to know more. And I'm like, all right, am I really writing this book? And I was like, I'm gonna pray first. I pray, I asked God, like, give me a confirmation if I should write this book. And another young lady had sent me a message and she was like, your words are very intriguing. Please write a book. I was like, okay, I guess we're writing a book. So I actually ended up writing the book. It takes more than one person for me. Just if one person was like, write a book, I probably wouldn't have did it. But because it was so many people asking me to write this book, and I feel like dating him, his real name was Ronnie, dating Ronnie taught me in that 30 days some very, very valuable lessons about not just loving someone else, but loving myself. So it helped me become a better woman, a more confident woman, because previously, before that, I was like in a bad relationship that kind of broke me. So just being with somebody in 30 days and they change your perspective on things, help you be more confident in everything. I was like, it's definitely a story that needs to be told.
Well, I'm glad that you told it. I'm glad that you're telling me about it, because I'm deeply interested and deeply curious. And I'm going to leave some of that to continue to expand and like come out as it needs to, or like if it needs to in this conversation, right? I'm still here trying to see you. I realize that I'm like rubbing my chin. I'm like, I'm here to see you. And it's really not that. I'm just super curious about you, Jasmin. I'm super curious. You're out in the world, you're creating, you help coaches like market their businesses. You take people through the Badd Academy, which helps entrepreneurs with the marketing of their businesses. Let me ask you this thing here. Well, I'll ask you this. Like, in what ways would you consider yourself an outlier?
I would consider myself an outlier. One, I feel like my purpose and my passion is way bigger than myself. I do feel like that. I feel like everything that I have to give, everything I have to offer. Yeah, I'm good at the things that I do. I'm great at the things that I do, but they're not just for me to keep to myself. They're actually for me to help other people. So I feel like I'm an outlier because I actually help women who were like myself at one point in time, who didn't see their greatest self. Because if you don't see yourself being great, there's no possible way you can be successful. So I feel like I'm an outlier because I'm actually able to bring that out of people.
Well, now you just said you said purpose, which is one of my words where I'm just like, I just want to just go sit down, get a cup of coffee. Actually, I don't drink coffee, so it'll be a decaf Mexican mocha. I think would be like what I would have right now, right? Or maybe a hot chocolate, and just get all like cozy with this word, your purpose here, right? If we were gonna hold the purpose like and honor it here, if you had to just tell me like, what's your purpose in life?
What's my purpose in life? My purpose in life is exactly what I just told you. Because I'm pivoting actually away from just strictly marketing.
Oh, okay.
Because I've noticed, like I said, there are people that have great ideas. There are people that have great talent. They're passionate. They know what their purpose is. But if they are not who they need to be, far as they don't believe in themselves, they're not confident, is no way that they can be successful in what they want to do. So I'm pivoting and I'm going back to helping women become who they need to be, helping them become their most confident self. And then we're getting into the marketing of their gifts and their talents and their purpose. Because without that, nothing is going to work. So I believe that that is my sole purpose outside of my really good marketing talent.
That's what I feel right now. I feel like a huge sigh of relief. I don't know where it came from, but it just felt like this, like something just washed through me here. Okay, Jasmin. Now I'm getting like a sense of like this is the game that you're really here to play, right? And it's really interesting because like we started out, I'm like, tell me about you, and everything you said was like spot on, sounded awesome, and I get like it's like who you've been and what has brought you to this current level of success that you have, right? And now you're in this pivot of being out there and saying like, yes, I have marketing skills, but there's I want to put it toward, I want to utilize it in like a deeper way. And this is where I'm being called. So Jasmin, for the rest of this conversation, can I talk to that Jasmin? Can that can she come out to come and play?
Yes.
Okay. All right,
yes.
Cool. I want to honor and acknowledge everything you've been creating over the years to like create the success that you have. I really want to acknowledge that, and this is something I have to like call out for myself. I can be with people in transition and pivot, in the messiness that comes from it there. And also just like, again, like that acceleration of that period of time, so we can go out and play. Cause I'm like, oh, I thought I was talking to like Jasmin, who was like the marketing entrepreneur. But like what I'm really talking is like Jasmin, who like helps women like really like own every single part of who they are, and then leverage that out into the world and make sure that they're able to translate the elements of who they are, not change who they are, but translate and elevate and like shine a light on who they are in a way that can bring them more money or success, whatever they want to market it towards. Like, but the foundation is in place. If I say that there, am I in alignment with how you are showing up in the world going forward?
Yes, you are definitely in alignment, because I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. And your relationship with yourself affects so many different relationships, not just personal relationships, but business relationships too. And how you are in your personal relationships, you are going to be exactly the same way in business relationships.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm taking this pivot to help women get into that good space and a good relationship with themselves.
Yeah.
Because I noticed even with myself, when I wrote that book, it was so freeing. It unlocked the door for I feel like all this time I was holding myself back because I wasn't ready to be vulnerable. I wasn't ready to tell the world like who I really was. So I'm like, since I did that and that's freeing, yeah, come on, we gotta share this. we gotta share this with women. Cause a lot, like myself previously before that, I just kept hitting the ceiling. I kept hitting the ceiling. I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong? But it was me blocking myself because I wasn't in the best relationship with myself.
Tell me a little bit about your ceiling here, because like, all right, here goes the thing, Jasmine. Now I'm like, oh, now we got to play, because I was sitting here, I'm like, if I relax in this conversation, Jasmine's going to pull the wool over my eyes and make me think that she's a marketing entrepreneur, when indeed, like I have, there's someone else here that like who's like really on mission. So like you said, how you do anything is how you do everything. Like I get curious here. Where did that gap come in, right? Where like we could have gone down this whole conversation and been like more in like Badd Academy and thinking about you in the marketer element there. Like if how you do anything is how you do everything, then where did that gap come in when I asked you to like describe like you and gave you a chance to speak yourself into the world here, and especially into my world here. Like to me, there was a disconnect, there was a gap here, and like eventually like it came out and I'm like, oh, okay, this is Jasmine. We're going to have this conversation going forth, but let's slow down a little bit on that. Tell me about that gap for you.
I don't know if I really consider it a gap. I just know, like I said, I'm going through that pivot. So it's like, I'm passionate. I'm very, very passionate. Like I told you, about helping women get a better understanding and relationship with themselves. But marketing is just always a part of me. That's just that's what I love. That's what I've been doing for the last 2-3 years. So when I pitch myself, when I'm talking, marketing always seems to come first. And then the book comes second. But all in all, I'm starting to feel like now the book has to come first when I'm talking, because that book is more of me than my accomplishments. So maybe that is where that gap came from. The book is definitely more personal, more me, and not just business.
Awesome. I I'm playing with this here and just being in here. It's like, okay, it wasn't that anything was missing. It was just like the order of it was different. You're like, I lead with the marketing, I follow up with the book here. It's in what I say,
Yeah,
but
it's more like if you ask me like, who I am, what I've been doing, I always kind of lead. It always goes in order. So I always start from the beginning. So from the beginning, I did start out as a hairstylist. I did. So I just take you kind of on a small journey of what I've done over the time frame, like who I've been. Okay. So it kind of goes in order.
I got
you. I'm big on keeping stuff in order. So
I got you.
I don't want to, I don't want to jump around. And people are like, well, when did she start that? When did she do that? So I kind of like to keep it in the timeline.
I got you. Okay. So now we're playing here. So, and I think some of the things that's important for me is like, oh, Jasmine's an author. Like, not that she authored a book, but like, if we're following the timeline of it, it's like, and then I became an author. Like they're like, when I hear that now in the context of this year, it's like, oh, there are other books that might come up at some point here. Like, this is not authored, done, period. It's in the past. It's like, it's part of your being now. It's part of like how you show up in the world. All right. That's cool. That's cool for me. And I'm talking out loud as I do this here, because I'm like I'm in the experience of getting to know you. And I'm like a whole different door opened up when you talk, like when we talk about the book this way. I'm like, oh, this, like, I missed that. I'm like, I'll let you know, I missed that. Like, this is the pivot that you're in. You're like I've done this, and now this is where I'm spending my time. Although, of course, I'm the marketing is just, it's going to come with it. It's coming along for the ride. So let me ask you this here. I have, I didn't tell you this beforehand, but I'll say this right now. I'm interested in getting to know more about the author. I feel like playing in like an exploration place here, and just like asking and getting curious and seeing, like, my gift is in co-creating. My gift is in like creating space for different things. And it just feels like it might be fun to do this. At any point though, like if it doesn't feel fun, can you let me know? And we'll just like go in a different direction. Like, is that cool?
Yes.
All right, cool. I definitely want to talk to like author Jasmin, like purposeful, passionate Jasmin, who's here for the women and connecting them to like all of who they are, and really bringing that out into the world, and helping them get that core together. Jasmin, I have a track record of having life-changing conversations. It's just like what happens for me. I think it's because I tell people. I tell people that, and I'm like, and I don't settle for anything less than that. So like my question for you here is like, if like you're right now in the pivot, right? You're looking like new opportunities are coming. You're someone who can like say yes, like to things. You'll check in, you'll pray about it, and be like, is this the right next step? And then like send me a sign, and then things will come your way. Like, for like, if we like we're in the pivot right now for you, right? Like, what's the thing that we can talk about that would like I don't know, just really support that transition for you, and like support like the pivot for you as you're exploring this year. I'm really curious about that.
All the things I love. Like, I'm just a free spirit. So I'm a free spirit. I'm spontaneous. So anything with books, I'm like about my book, about my story, anything about dating, relationship wise. That's kind of like the space I'm in.
Yeah. The question that's just like, hold on one second. I'm gonna just take a quick breath real quick, because I feel like I'm like in two different places with you, and I want to be in one. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. I felt like I needed to do that because I'm like, oh, this person is so interesting. Let's come on here. So dating, relationship. Tell me about like how you see, like, now you're in this pivot here. If you're good with that, I'd love to be like in the exploration, like in the messiness of wherever this pivot is going. I'm really curious about that. Are you good with that? Versus like what has been set in stone. We know that already.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So tell me a little bit here, like as you're making this pivot here, like how do you envision your business? How do you envision yourself like really being a support to women out there who are missing what it is that you're offering?
I envision this pivot. It's actually going to be events. Yeah. It's going to be events. It's going to be community, because I'm actually going to do my first event in May.
Nice.
It feels like that's the route that it's going into. I see so much stuff on social media that is corrupting. I feel like it's corrupting the minds of everyone. I'm not even just going to say our generation, but I feel like it's corrupting the minds of everyone. And how I look at myself now, and just looking back, with everything I do, with business, with dating, I'm like, wow, I'm really a different person. I'm really a different woman. And like my standards, everything is just so different, but different in a good way. And it's like, I wish I'm so happy with myself now when I date people and I walk away. When I can say to someone, you know what? I don't think you're for me. I don't think I'm for you. That doesn't mean we're enemies. We just no longer serve each other. I'm done. Now, whether you're done, I don't know, but I'm done. So that means this ends. And I just be so proud of myself because I'm like, I'm not giving people the benefit of the doubt anymore. If it's not what I want, if it's not what I need, if it's not serving me, I'm moving along. And I'm like, I wish so many other women had that type of confidence to not settle, because not settling is taking me so much further in my life, not just even in my business.
You say that, I had a coach who said to me, he said, Niiamah, like most people don't know this, but the truth of the matter is you get what you tolerate in life. You get what you tolerate in life. And
I like to say, you accept what you deserve and you deserve what you accept.
You said that one more time for me. I was like, I just want to like have that like sink in.
You accept what you deserve and you deserve whatever you accept.
How's that played out for you as you've like gone on in your journey? How's it playing out for you right now with the pivot right now as well? I'm curious about that. You accept what you deserve and you deserve what you accept. Tell me a little bit about that, like how that's played out for you.
When I say that saying, I'm saying, as far as if you don't believe that you deserve great things, whether it's great relationships, great friendships, great business, great anything, and you feel like, well, I can only have this, then if you're willing to accept the bare minimum of anything, if you're willing to accept that, then maybe that's exactly what you deserve. So that's how I kind of play with that saying. Maybe that's what you deserve. If you don't want to, you don't feel you deserve, well, you should have more, or you deserve more. If you don't feel like anything that's top tier, and it doesn't even always have to be something expensive, but if it's not a top tier experience, if you feel like you can't have that, then maybe you don't deserve it. You're not willing to work for the great things either. Maybe you don't deserve them.
So how did you like expand that like acceptance within you and the settling within you here? Like there's so many different ways I can go. Like my traditional coach thing would be like, let's talk about deserving. Let's talk about, you know, that's my standard coach thing on it. I'm like, but I want to play this game a little bit different. I want to play this here. Because I've had that conversation before, you know. I'm curious for you then, like it feels like when I talk to you right now that you've been making this shift from like, I'm not settling anymore, right? And it feels like you've changed what you choose to accept. You're like, it's like the threshold is lower. Like, it's like, that's not going to pass my standards. My standards are higher. And someone described it to me. It's like when you're first starting out, you might have like 30%, like, 50%. You set your standard and like, if it meets at least 50%, you're good, but eventually over time, it's like, if it's not exactly what your standard is or better, it's out. All right. So I'm hearing some more acceptance there. Tell me about like, I wanted to see like for you, how's both what you've accepted and like deserved, how's that both like expanded? How's that been playing out for you as you're making this, it feels like a pivot in relationships right now. So let's start with that. And then we can see, because how you do anything is how you do everything. We can see how that passes on to business and other parts of your life. Does that sound cool to you? Yeah. Tell me about that.
Okay. So my pivot actually started a year ago. I'm gonna say my major pivot. So I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. And I decided, well, for the last 5 years that I wanted to move to Texas. So last year I was like, it's enough of playing small. We want to live in Texas. Okay. We're going to go visit. We're going to look at these places. And that's the next step. That was something I wanted. So here I am now. I'm living in Houston, Texas. I am loving living in Houston, Texas. And while I'm here, it's been a year. I just started really like dating here. And dating has been very different, but in a good way. And I'm like, something has changed And I had to sit back and think. I was like, what in me has changed? I'm still a good woman. I'm still a good person. But something has changed, because the caliber of men I'm dating now are not like guys I dated before. It's different. And I think somewhere in that pivot to Houston, that is also where I pivoted and I evolved into a different woman, maybe a next level woman. I think, like I said, I know I don't settle for anything. I was in a relationship last year with someone that was from my hometown, and I ended it and I was only 4 months into that relationship. And I was like, this is not the person I want to be with. And we were friends years before that, but I was like, this is not the person I want to be with. We don't have the same type of goals. And they weren't always business goals. They were life goals. I'm like, we don't have the same type of life goals. And you can have your own goals and it can be good. But if you're not making decisions that I feel like are a team decision, then I don't think we're meant to be together. If you're eating out every day, and this is one example from a relationship, you're eating out every day and you're complaining about not having enough money. And I'm saying, that's a simple fix. Go to the grocery store, start cooking, save some money. What are you going to do? Because I'm not going to be the only person in a relationship saving money. This needs to be a team effort. And if you're doing this now, what is it going to be like in the future? You can't save money now. So again, in the future of us being together, what is this going to look like? It looks like you're not responsible. It looks like I'm the only responsible, and a man should lead. And you're not leading right now. So it was things like that. And I was like, you're not the person for me. And I'm not settling for that, because I don't do bad by myself. So I'm not doing bad with somebody.
I'm smiling on a couple different levels there. The one that, like, when you say you don't do bad by yourself, I know your last name is Bad too. So I just wanted to say, kind of like check it. Yeah, I need to like kind of just check it out, that, because I'm like, there could be additional levels here. I just need to just check it on that. Is it like, what does that mean for you? Just to make sure I'm on the same page.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Jasmin Badd is 2 Ds. Yeah. And when I was saying bad in that term, I was talking about the 1 D, the horrible.
Okay, perfect. I'm not. Cool.
Let's just check. I don't do horrible by myself.
I got you.
I got you. Life with anybody else.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and I just was proud of myself.
Yeah, let's acknowledge that.
I'm like, I really, I didn't look at those red flags and think I could turn them green. They were what they were, and I walked away.
Okay, I got you. So if I'm hearing from you, in the past, like they were like, okay, we can work on this. We're gonna I'm gonna give this person like some chance to like kind of turn this into something else. And now you're looking at it from getting you, it's like you've gone on your journey and you're like, no, I would love to start off with a really great foundation of just like responsible is just like already on the table. Not that this person will become responsible. It's like we're starting from responsible, and then we're seeing what else we can do from there. Because I don't do bad by myself, and I could do extraordinary with others. Is it in that kind of line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you. And
this if I'm doing good by myself, when I get with somebody, we should be doing great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're doing good, I'm doing good, together, we should be a powerhouse. It can't be one person doing bad, one person doing good, and we're coming together. It's going to be it's not going to be equally yoked. It's going to be all over the place, and it's going to be kind of hard. And Again, I told y'all, I was in this relationship for 4 months. It takes 90 days to form a habit. And within those 4 months, you had 90 days to start learning how to save money, and you didn't choose to do that. So I had to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Jasmine, so I'm recognizing a few things. One, I'm grateful for you. I'm really grateful that we're in this conversation. I'm glad that like our paths are like started to come here. There's so much more to go and explore. And I also like I'm grateful to be catching you like as you're making the pivot, because I'm hearing like that's one. I'm also grateful for like that you put in this conversation like how you do anything is how you do everything, because it's I'm hearing we're talking now about relationship. We're talking about like how it takes 90 days to create a habit. I'm hearing like some of like the ways that you see the world. And I'm grateful for this because I feel like not only am I getting to know you, but like others are getting a chance to get to know you as well. And to see, because I love one of the things I've learned from doing this here is like, yeah, I call it Outliers Edge. And it's like almost like there's like a bit of I don't know what the right word is. It's like it's a little bit tongue in cheek. Cause I'm like, you're an outlier. And I would call them like, tell me what makes you an outlier. Like lean into your outlier. You're unique, so on and so forth. But here goes the thing. Everyone on this planet is unique. So like it's like we're all outliers together. And so at the same, so in one sense, it's a play. It's a play. It's not, it's and what I'm getting from you, what I'm feeling from you is like just like seeing how like your standards are raising, the way that you're not settling for things, even to yourself. You're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm really good. I can do good with the marketing things, and I want more. I want a deeper connection. I want to like be there with women in this way here. Like I want more from that, and you're creating space for that. I just really want to acknowledge you as just like the tremendous person that you are, and I'm grateful that you've shared shared your thinking and the way that you go about doing things here, because what I find is that like there are people who will not be able to really get that they get to choose what they deserve and what they accept until they've listened to this. There are people who like will not really be able to really get like what it means to like really love themselves first until they hear your words and they read your book or they spend time with you here, And so I'm just really grateful like that we've been able to spend this time here, because it's like I just know like deeply that like you are so the person for so many people. And I'm just glad that you're playing this game and you're choosing to be visible in it. And you're letting that out in the world.
Thank you.
I just sneezed there. I felt like there's something needed to come out. I like to see my body like tells me things along the way as well. So let's do this here. We're at the top of the hour, so I want to be mindful of that. But I love to end our conversations from a place of like of insight. So if there was one insight, takeaway, or resistance that you have felt from any part of this conversation, what might that be here? And we'll wrap that up. We'll have you share that. So this is different, right? Most of the time people say like, what's a takeaway you want for other people? I'm not like, we're going to get what we get from it. My thing is like, what's a takeaway that you're getting from this experience here? And then we'll leave some space for you to just share if anyone wants to like continue down the journey, get to be in your world and spend more time along. In my mind, I was going to say something clever about 30 years, 30 like in 30 days, but it didn't come out. So so like if someone wants to continue the journey with you, right, like how that would be. But let's first start out like what's one insight or takeaway like that you experienced for yourself in this conversation?
One takeaway I experienced for myself in this conversation was that I am making the right decision with my pivot. Because as we were talking, typically people want to focus on my marketing, and you went right for my book, because that is who I truly am outside of my career. So the one takeaway was that the pivot is where I'm supposed to be, and it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Glad right now in my mind, I'm just like glad I can come in as like a little pebble to that river that you have there, just to like kind of shake things up, get a little ripple effects, it like and such along that way. Awesome. Jasmin, we want to go on this journey with you. You know, how do we do that best?
How do you do that best is you can follow me on Instagram at Jasmin Badd, JasminBadd. That's the best way to connect with me.
Awesome. So we'll make that happen. Thank you so much, Jasmin. Like, for me, appreciation is not just something that happens. Like I spend time in conversations finding the places that light me up inside. That like it's just something here. And I just want to say that who you're being, how you're being, I appreciate you. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate the flow that's here. I say everything happens for a reason, you know, and the other thing that's fun is like the reason can be you. So thank you for being that reason here today. Thank you for bringing everything you did. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ready to play at your edge? Come join us inside of the Outliers Edge multiverse, where you have the opportunity to come for 14 days and play in the sandbox of your unique leadership style and take everything about you to its next edge. Go to outliersedge.com/OE guest pass in order to receive your 2-week gift.